Arms. This is the muscle group every guy wants to get bigger. When I first started working out, this was the muscle group I put the most effort into and the most time into trying to get bigger, but they just wouldn't grow. I tried different exercises, I tried different sets and rep ranges, just nothing seemed to work. But through trial and error, I started to get the results that I wanted. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to get them too. Let's start off with actually measuring my arms. Alright, so it's a little bit over 16 inches. First, I'm going to tell you what you don't want to do. You don't want to have an arm day. An arm day is basically a whole training session dedicated to just training your arms. You might be sat there thinking, what? Having a whole day dedicated to training arms, having that much volume, is only going to make them grow. But no, my arms didn't grow and it's not going to help you. The reason it's not going to help you is the arms are just a small muscle group compared to something like the back, the legs, for example. Like, you're going to be training your arms with movements like the bench press. You're going to be training chest. You're going to be training your arms with movements like a deadlift, a barbell row, tons of other movements you probably will be using in your training scheme. Like, you need to let your arms recover, and having an arm day is just not going to help them. You don't need 10 different exercises for your arms to grow. What you need to do is have a good two for your tricep, two for your bicep. Use those movements with progressive overload, train them to failure. Let's go over what exercises you should be using to grow your arms. These are the exercises I use to grow my arms. For biceps, the first exercise I use is barbell bicep curls. I do these on my knees. The reason I do that is to take out any momentum in the movement and to put more pressure on the biceps themselves. The second exercise I use for my biceps is incline dumbbell curls. These are honestly one of the reasons my arms have blown up recently. Like, I promise you, do these if you aren't already. And then the two exercises I do for my triceps are overhead tricep extensions. Make sure you come low down to get a full extension of your tricep when you're performing this exercise. And secondly, tricep push downs. I open my hand when I push down on this exercise. For some reason, it helps me feel my tricep more when doing the exercise. The most important thing to do is make sure you're staying consistent. Keep showing up. These things take time. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and have tree trunk size arms. Like, if you want your arms to look like legs, it's going to take a very, very, very long time. But just stay consistent with it, enjoy the process, and try your best, have fun. Like, it sounds silly, but genuinely, when I first started, I was like, I'm not going to have fun doing this. Fuck that, I just want the results now. But genuinely, like, once you start, you fall in love with the process, I promise you. When I say massive arms, you probably picture massive biceps, but in reality, the tricep is actually 2/3 of the actual arm itself. Therefore, if you want bigger arms, you should be training your tricep as hard, if not harder, than the biceps. That way your arm is going to blow up even quicker. But the biggest factor in actually getting your arm to grow isn't actually anything to do with working out, but is actually to do with your diet and how much you are eating. Probably thinking, well, how much should I be eating? Well, what I'd recommend is 200 calories over your maintenance. So you're eating a 200 calorie surplus. Obviously, if you're overweight, don't do this. What I'd suggest is to do a recon, which is where you eat at maintenance calories, have a high protein intake, and train to failure with progressive overload. That way, once you reach like a body state where you're lean enough, then do the 200 calorie surplus. Make sure you're getting enough protein in your diet. If you don't, you're just gonna be holding yourself back and the amount of progress you could be making. Another thing is, if you have more definition showing your arms, so if you're leaner, your arms will appear bigger. So someone could have bigger arms than you, but because you've got more definition showing in your arms, they will appear bigger. Right, so let's go over all the points that were made in the video. Train your triceps when you train your chest, and train your biceps when you train your back. Don't do 5,069 exercises on your arms. Just do 2 good ones for your triceps and 2 good ones for your biceps. Use these with progressive overload and train them to failure. Stay consistent with your training. Don't give up. It's going to take time. Just stick with it and keep showing up. Make sure you're giving yourself enough time to recover. Make sure you're having enough protein in your diet, and make sure you're eating enough to allow your arms to actually grow. However, if you're already overweight, don't do this and do a recomp first. If you're not happy with the way you look, then do something about it. I just want to say, I know I'm not the biggest guy ever, and I don't pretend to be or claim to be, but from where I started compared to where I am now, I'm very happy with my progress, and I just want to share some tips that I know if I knew back then would have helped me a lot. So thank you. If anybody wants any further help, then make sure to message me on Instagram. I'll put my out up here. Just drop me a message. I'll reply to you as soon as possible. And yeah, I'll try my best to help you. If you stayed this far into the video, then thank you for watching. If you'd be able to subscribe and like the video and maybe even share it, I'd really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me and help more than you know. I also have TikTok and Instagram, which is both at ethanfrenchfitness, which I will put on the screen now. So yeah, if you'd be able to follow those as well, I'd appreciate it. Have a nice day.